Our presenter today is Alejandro Paramos. He's a service delivery engineer here at Sabre. Welcome, Alejandro, and thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for taking the time to help our customers with this great topic. And so whenever you're ready and you want to share your screen and start the presentation, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Jimena. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. The idea, I will switch off my camera, just switch it on to say hello, but I'm going to change to a bigger screen. So the idea for this presentation is to go through all the different automated exchanges processes and maybe something else if we have time. Um, but for that, I will share my screen and let me just go there. Switch my camera off and I was, yeah. Can you see my screen now?
It's black for now, but I
It
think
is.
you're sharing. Yeah.
It is. Okay. Good.
Oh, there it is.
Good. Is it with the baggage and everything? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So okay. So the thing that we're going to see today is the process that we do for automated exchanges and refunds, and some other topics that may be inserted from specific markets, and also for the policies that your agency may have, and also the airline policy. So you know that in this world we have many different scenarios that may depend on the different things. So we will mention most of them. But again, as Jimena said, if you have any question, you can type that on the chat now. If we have time, we will answer that at the end of the presentation. Otherwise, we will send you um, an email later with all that responses. So you know that for we have different type of exchanges, right? We have the involuntary exchanges that are the ones that when the airlines make a schedule change usually, and you need to for some reason you need to create a new ticket, especially if they change the flight number or something else. So in that case, that is involuntary, right? We have usually in the past we need to do recreate the original fare to the new ticket, but now we have an entry that will help you to do that in a very easy way. We'll talk about that at the end, but just wanted to mention at the beginning, this is the involuntary ones that of course that are not guaranteed by Sabre because it's something that is depends on the airline, right? It's on their side. Then we have the voluntary changes when the passenger wants to change something, right? The outbound, the inbound, something in the itinerary, any changes that they want to do. And inside these voluntary changes, we have the even exchange when the previous previous fare is the same that the new one, right? That is an even exchange. Additional collection when the new uh, fare is more than the original one, or residual amount when the new fare is less than the previous one. In that cases, there are different scenarios also, depending on the airline, and also in the kind of ticket that you have. The residual amount can be returned or reimbursed to the passenger, uh, usually in an EMD, in a kind of or MCOs if you are using the old terminology, or also depending on the airline, that part of the residual amount can be used to pay for the change penalty, for example, or they can lose that amount. So that also will depend on the airline's rules and the rules from the specific fare that we are using. All of this information will be automatically verified by Sabre when you do the automated exchange, right? That's why we call it automated and why it's warranted, because it's the system is checking all that information. And then you can have a change penalty. In that case, if the also depending when you do the exchange, depending on the fare type that you're using, you may have a penalty, or the passenger may have a penalty for that. So that will be added to original amount. And of course, we have two types of warranty. The automated exchange, that is the one that we're going to see today. That is when you do the entries, the manual command or the graphical using the automated exchange, that is guaranteed by Sabre. So if you shouldn't receive an EMD for a debit memo for that, because the airlines and Sabre knows that that is the automated exchange. So in that cases, you shouldn't receive a debit memo. But if you do, you just need to report that to Sabre, and Sabre will reimburse you with the amount, right? But usually you shouldn't get that debit memos for the automated. And then you have the manual. When the system is not able to do the automated calculation and check the rules for different reasons, then you need to do it manually, right? We are not going to cover that because that takes another presentation. Maybe that we can do that in the future. But that is something that you need to do some manual, maybe calculations, or maybe search for information like what is the penalty, and if it's changeable or not, refundable or not, that kind of things. But in that case, it's not guaranteed, right? So today we are going to see only the guaranteed exchanges and refunds. So for that, to be able to do the automated refund and exchanges, you need to have that configuration in your PCC, in your agency, right? Because these type of exchanges, the automatic exchanges, have a cost. That is like a kind of warranty that you have. So every time that you complete a PNR, an exchange or a refund, the agency will be charged. It's, I don't remember now, I think it's $1 or $2, but that is a kind of paying that that is sure you're not going to receive any debit memo, right? It's like an insurance. So to verify if you have that, you can do these entries. W/ARF crossover lane display. This is saying that the automated refund is active. And W/AR display crossover lane display, the auto reissue or the exchange is active, right? If it's not active, somebody with the administrative rights at your agency needs to accept that charges, right? I don't know if you have that rights, but in that cases you need to go to the Sabre Central, go to Marketplace, and accept the charges for these two, the automated and the refunds, right? If you don't have that, it won't. When you try to do the entry, it's going to give you an error. It will say that is not active. Okay. So, and the thing is, when this is active and you do the entry to do the exchange or refund, the system will check what is called the voluntary or refunds or changes. The categories number 31 for changes and 33 for refunds. So this is where the airline stores the information, all the information that Sabres needs to do an automated exchange. That means if the fare is refundable or exchangeable or not, the penalty amount, different things, right? So, and in a way that Sabre can read that, because maybe usually you search for the penalties that is on the Rule 16, but that is not a standardized information. So Sabre cannot read that place. The information needs to be here in the 31 or the 33. So in case that any fare that you're using doesn't have this information, Rule 31 or 33, Sabre cannot do the automated exchange, right? So that information needs to be in the rules. Okay. Good. So we're going to see the process, right, to do the exchange. Maybe many of you are already familiar with that, but we will see some specific steps or information that is important that you keep in mind. So I will just read this, and then we'll do the process in a specific case, so you will see the difference. So first of all, you need to, of course, display the recollocator, the PNR, right, and modify the itinerary. right? Maybe you can modify, not sometimes the passenger is asking if they can, how much is the difference, right? So they are not sure if they're going to change or not, but they want to know how much is the difference. If there's a difference in the fare because maybe the class that they used before is not available anymore, or how much is the change fee, right? So in that case, we can change the flight, but not complete don't close the reservation because we don't know if they're going to change it or not. We just change the flight, do the process, and if they don't want to complete it, we just ignore and everything is the same, right? Or if they know that they want to change and it doesn't matter how much it is, but they need to change it. In that case, we can end the record and with the new flights. So that will depend on the case. Okay. Another thing that is important is we need to ensure that the segment is open. At least one of the segments is open. And something that I didn't mention in the different cases, I forgot to mention that you can have a full exchange when the previous ticket is complete without use, or we can have a partial exchange when some of the coupons are already used, right? At least one of the coupon, of course, needs to be open to be able to do the exchange. So it's important that you verify that before starting the process. And a very important thing that many times the users forget to do is to verify that you are using the qualifiers that you use for the original pricing. Because maybe when you do the original pricing, you use an account code or a branded fare or anything that can change the fare, right? So you need to put the same qualifiers in the new when you do the exchange, because otherwise it's not going to take that in consideration, right? So you display the PQ to verify which are the original qualifiers, and then if needed, you put it again in the exchange entry. So the automated exchange mask, that is the mask where the information will appear. You can do this. WFRF. This means fast reissue. Fast reissue with the F. This is for the automated. If you don't put the F, that is the manual one that you can and need to verify everything manually. And then you can put TR2. This is ticket record number 2, or the line number that you have in the display T, right? Or you can put also the complete ticket number, because sometimes you don't have the ticket in the same reservation. You have in a different reservation, and you're creating a new one. So you can put the complete ticket number if you want. And then, as I mentioned, if there's anything that you need to, this is not the display here. It's just BR and the fare, the branded fare name, right? So if you originally you use a specific brand and you want to keep with that brand, you need to specify that. Or if you want to change to a different brand, you need to specify that in the entry too. Or if you have an account code or anything else that can change the passenger type, for example, if you have a child. So if you don't specify that this is a child, it may calculate the adult price, right? So verify that everything that is in the original is here too. And another important thing is that the exchanges need to be done one passenger at a time. You cannot just issue all of them, at least at this time, not yet. So if you're using the commands, as we are doing now, you need to verify that you're using the correct passenger number, because sometimes you can put ticket record number 2 and the IN 2.1, for example. That is the second passenger. But in fact, this ticket is for the first passenger. So the system is not checking that unless a specific we know we mentioned that the DJR, that is the configuration of the agency, specifies that check that information. So if you have a specific configuration in your agency that I can, you can ask that if you're the uh, if you have sorry, if you have authorization at your agency to change the conditions, you can select that nobody can, or specific EPRs, specific signs, cannot change the passenger name. Because in this case, if you're changing one uh, one ticket for another name, you are changing the ticket name, right? So that is not accepted by the airline. You may receive a debit memo in that case. If you have that specific configuration in your agency, and that is done by sign by agent, not for the complete agency, in that case, the system will verify that the name is the same, and if it's different, it won't let you complete that, right? In some cases, you may need to change that. That is why it's not automatically. But maybe if you're the administrator and want that specific agents don't want to do that, to change the passenger names, you can put that, you can configure that in the specific EPRs. If that is the case, please request to the, we will send that information how to do it maybe in the documents that we will send you later, right? But just keep in mind that verify that the ticket that you're using, in case that you have more than one passenger in the reservation, you specify the correct name, right? The graphical flow that we will see will do that automatically, right? So it's you don't need to specify when you want to exchange a ticket. The graphical will identify the name and just do that the same thing. You don't need to specify that. Okay, and then uh, the system will show a penalty fee if applied. Usually that is charged as a CF. That also depends on the market, but I think in your case that will be uh, for CP, I think. But also maybe some airlines want to do it an EMD now. Some airlines are changing instead of. I'm not sure in ARC, but in some other markets they want to do an EMD, and miscellaneous document for that cases. So in that case, if some airline, specific airlines want you to, or for any reason you want to issue an EMD instead of a change fee tax or code, you need to select that in that case. The graphical flow will verify that automatically, which is the preference from the airlines, and will also select that automatically. And then finally, after you complete the process that we will see, you can ticket immediately. That is in case that the reservation is already, the segments are already HK, of course, or you can retain this information to ticket later. But it needs to be before midnight the same day. Okay, so let me show the different options that we can have. So this is event exchange. Event exchange, as we mentioned, is when the new ticket is the same, or the new fare is the same that the old ticket. So first of all, as we mentioned, let's do display PQ so we can see which is the qualifiers, which are the qualifiers that we use for this one. In this case, you can see that we have this BR for brand, and we use main FL. It's the same for both segments, right? But in the PQ, they are separate by segment in that case. And the passenger is an adult, and we don't have any other one. We don't have an account code or customer ID or anything else. So this is one of the things. Verify which is if we have any specific brand or any other qualifier. Then we can also verify the ticket. Actually, it's in the line number 2. And if we display the ticket, we need to have at least one open segment. Okay. So, okay, we are fine so far. Let's see now the itinerary. You can see here that I had for the 24, and now the passenger wants to change this for the 26th, right? So I have my new date, right? So that is okay. So I can do the entry WFRF, ticket record number 2, and I will add the brand that the FL, the brand that was used originally. So in this case, we have the old ticket information, the new ticket. In this case, is the same thing. And we don't have a change fee amount. This is very important that you verify that here it says N/A. This means not applicable. So you don't need, there's no change fee for this specific fare, right? You can have an amount here, for example, $20, $50, whatever. So it will be a change fee amount for that. But if this is blank, this is empty, verify that here at the bottom, it will say with the, I think it's with the yellow letters, it will say that the system was not able to do an automated changes, and it's moved to the manual one. So if you don't have any amount here, doesn't mean that you don't have a change fee. That means that the system, for different reasons, maybe the automated rules, that you remember that the number 31 was not available for this fare, so was not able to verify that. So you will need to verify the taxes and the conditions, right? So automatically moves to the manual one. But you need to be very careful, because if you don't pay attention to that, maybe you think, okay, this doesn't have a penalty, so I can continue, right? But remember always to read everything that is here. Okay, so usually when we are doing an automatic exchange, we don't change anything here, because if you change something, you will lose the warranty, right? But you can see here that also it says collect fee on EMD. So by default, it will do it as a, if you have a penalty, it will do as a CP. But if you want, for any reason, pay with an EMD, you just click an X here. And this will automatically issue an EMD after you complete the exchange. In this case, let it as it is. So we go to the next. And here it is mandatory to add the commission amount. You can put 0 if you don't have any. We don't have additional exchanges, so we don't need to put anything else. Usually in this case, you don't need to put any waiver or tool code, because this is automatic, so that is okay. And as we have already the segment is HK already, you can ticket automatic here, right? So you just put X here, and the new ticket will be issued. But if this is not the case, if you just did the change just to verify if you have any, if the passengers finally wants to do the exchange or not, and the segment is not HK, in that case, you can retain this information. You can also go to the previous page if you need to do something, to change something, or you can quit if the passenger changed their mind and doesn't want to complete the process. Right? Only one of these 4 can be selected. If you select more than one, you will get an error message here. Select only one action. So in this case, we're going to retain this information. And you know that in the PQ, if you do display PQS, you will have the original PQ with the fare that was issued at that time. And then you have the PQR. PQR is the retain information. So all the process that we have for this exchange is retained there. If we want to display that, display PQR and the PQR number, you can see this PQR number 2 because it's correlative with the previous ones. all the information is here, right? The original ticket, the amount, it's an even exchange, so it's 0, all the breakdown information. If you move down, you'll have all the other information to change fee, not applicable. Everything is here, right? So now you can, let's imagine that you don't have the segment HTK, so you need to end the record, receive and end the record. Usually when you end this way, it's good that you do IR after a couple of seconds, just to verify that you don't have any information from the airline. And again, as we have that information in the PQ number 2, to issue a ticket, we just need to do W cross, PQR, and the PQR number. Of course, you need to have your, okay, and the ticket is exchanged. Of course, you need to have your printers already designated. So usually, and that also will depend on if your agency has the automated end and retrieve configured or not. If you have that configured, when you issue a ticket, automatically it would end the PNR. In this case, it's not configured that way, so I need to do it manually. I need to end the record to store that information. Because what can happen, and that is also to be something to have in consideration, is let's say that you issue the ticket and then it's lunchtime, so you go out for lunch, right? And then when you are back, remember, if you don't use the system for a specific time, it will sign out. And in this case, as I didn't end the record, the information is not stored in the PNR, right? But the ticket was issued. The ticket was already issued. It's not that the ticket is not because I didn't end the record. The ticket was issued, the information will go to ARC, and they will charge you. But when you open the record, maybe the information is not there because it's you didn't end the record, right? So it's important that after you end the record, issue the ticket, you end the record. See this, if I try to ignore, it'll tell me that ET is required because I need to end the record. I cannot ignore the record because this information is not saved. But if the system automatically sign out, in that case, we'll lose the information. So let's put again my receive from and okay. We have this message here, display PAC to verify correct number of accounting lines. And when we do that, you will see that we have the original accounting information and the new accounting information. That is information that is going to your back office. Usually you don't need to do anything because the back office, when you end the record, this information is going to the back office. And some of them will recognize that it is already in the system and will only take the information from this one. But some of them may request you to cancel the first line that is already sent. So in that case, you need to do AC one change. Okay. So only the new, only the new accounting information is sent to the system, right? So that is something that you may need to verify because that will depend on the agency and the back office that you're using, if any. Okay, so now we will end the record again and it should work. Okay, so now we can verify if we do display T that we have 2 tickets now. If we display the original one, now the status is exchanged. And if we display the new one, this is open. So this is the way that we verify that everything is okay. Another thing that we can do is to verify DQB display, that is the list of the tickets that are issued at the agency. So that's why important. If you don't have the information in the PNR, but here the information will always be, right? So If you display the ticket and you said, oh, I thought that I issued a ticket, but it's not here, go to DQB display, because here you will see if the ticket was issued or not, right? Usually Sabre, after a couple of minutes, when you were not able to end the record, will try to store the information back into the PNR. But just to be on the safe side, always remember to verify that the information is in the PNR. Okay, so the ticket is here, and you can see that it says EX, that is the exchange ticket. Right? This was an original ticket with a form of payment, and in this case was an exchange. You know that I didn't show you this workflow here. You should have now these icons on the right of the window, where you can specify different things. One of the things is the, what is it? Extended sales report. It's the same of the DQB. The only thing is a little more graphical. You can do it with the date here, carrier specific PCC. Let me, and you can have different things. You can have the ticket, but also, and that's another thing that we're not going to talk today because that is a complete different presentation, is for the NDCs, right? So you can have also the DQB for NDC. But in this case, I want to see the tickets, and it will display the information here. The good thing about this more graphical way to do it, is that if you want to find something, for example, want to find a name, it will, when you type something here, it will filter for that, the only records that have that information. And also you can, with this, you can export to CSV, that is an Excel file. So you can send all this information to an Excel and play with it if you want to filter by agent, right? So here, if you only want to see the records for a specific agent, you can type the agent. In this case, all the agents are the same, but if you type the agent name, it will filter for that. Okay, so let me clear this and go back to the reservation. So we have our new ticket that is, it was an event exchange. You know that some airlines allows you to cancel a refund or void an exchange. But if you want to verify that, you can do WTP display and the airline code. So here, this is the airline profile. So all the information that is related to this specific agent airline can be verified here. If you do MD display cancel, and don't worry, all this information is in the presentation later, so we will send that to you. You don't need to take notes. You can see here that they says that cancel refund or void exchange, yes. But you can see also refundable balance, no. Something, other different things that are here in the profile also that you can verify. But in this case, the airline is letting me cancel a refund or void an exchange. So if I do display T, if I cancel, and if you already know how to cancel a ticket, it's the same thing to cancel an exchange. WB and the line number as the other, and when you are voiding a ticket, you need to do that twice. So you can see now that the new ticket was the line number 3. It's voided. And the original one that was exchanged is back to open. So we have that information open. Good. Let me see. I want to do now. Any question regarding this?
Yeah, we have a few. I don't know if you wanna let me check because we have a few and um, can you show again how can you show one ticket is exchanged and the other open?
Yeah, you just display the ticket, WTR display, and the ticket number. We will see that in another exchange that we will do later. So don't worry. But yeah, you just display the ticket, and here instead of open, it will say exchange. That is the only thing. And in
Oh,
the if you go to the QB display, now in this case that the one was exchanged, but now it's voided also. Remember this V here means that this is voided. Okay. But in the reservation, you will see that in the WTR display.
okay. We have
Okay.
another question. Is will this work on group ticketing?
Well, group ticketing, yes. If the thing is, many times the groups they have a specific fares that are not stored in the these categories, number 31 and 33, they're not there. So you won't be able to issue the automated exchange. But if it's an automated one, yes, it will work. And
Okay.
for the ones that use groups, there's specific um, Red app that is a group wizard. That is a great tool. If you don't know it, find out because it's a great tool and will simplify your life for everything for creating the groups, entering the names and the all the passenger information. You can have that all that information in an Excel file and update to reservation. You can do exchanges, put the seats. It's a great tool. So keep that in mind, and you can see when we have. I think that we have a video on that in our YouTube channel. So verify that is the name is Group Wizard. Okay, good.
And we have another question. Before you move on, please.
Yeah.
This is an interesting question. Are we able to activate a practice environment in our own Sabre instances so we can practice different exchange situations?
Well, in fact, yes, you can have that, but you need to be an what kind of sign do you need to know? Okay, there's for example here I'm using a display M. Yes, display M is the environment that I'm using. This is the CERT environment. This is for all tests and everything, right? So that is why I can do things and I don't worry about the airline is going to send me a debit memo. But in your case, you need to request that environment. And you need to create another sign on that environment and some things. But yes, you can create, of course. Usually we don't do this very often with all the users because sometimes you're working in one environment and you forget that you are not in the correct one, and you think that you're working in the fake one and you are in the real and the other way around. So, but yes, you can request that. So you can ask for your representative or your account manager to give you that. No problem.
Thank you.
And yeah, and that is a good thing, yeah, because it's especially if some of the big agencies that they have a lot of, many people that is entering and maybe internal training. This is a good thing that before going to the real life, they can practice.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
let me go to another reservation. Let's go with Mary this time. Okay, so Mary, let's see which. Okay, now in this case, you can see that Mary doesn't have any qualifier here when this ticket was issued, right? But now I want to change to a different brand. So let's verify again that we have a ticket. Okay, it's not open. So we can do WFRF, ticket record number 2, and I want to use the brand main FL. Okay, you can see here. Usually it will give you, but in this case, for this brand, the class that I have isn't applicable. I need to change that to class L. And I can do two things. You know that you can do WC A for all segments L, that will change to the class L. Or you can also do, when you do this entry, you can add Cross-Lorraine NCV. So this will search for the lowest class available for this specific brand, right? You know that the brand thing has changed the way that we, in the past, we use with the classes, each letter has a different fare, but now the same letter can be in different brands. So that is kind of confusing. So to verify which is the letter that we want for that. So if we just put this brand and search for the best class, it will do it. So you can see here, lower fare found, rebooked. So it automatically rebooked that for class L. It's lower fare found, but it's not that this is lower. It's just changed to the lowest fare available for that specific brand. So in this case, we have the new amount is more expensive than the original one. So we have a difference in the base fare and also in taxes. Again, we don't have any change fee penalty in this case, but it could say that it's something, right? So if we agree with this, we go to the next page. And in this case, also remember, you need to add the commission. Even if it's 0, you need to put that. And in this case, as we have an additional collection here, you can see that we need to put if we're going to pay it cash or with a credit card. If originally we paid with a credit card, it will appear here also, right? But in this case, it's not. And you can see here that we don't have the ticket. I don't know why we should have, but we cannot ticket. We need to retain. Something else that I want to show you is that if we go back, okay, which is the field that is missing, this one. Oh, okay, I know what is missing is the form of payment. Okay, even if you're going back, you need to put the form of payment. Okay. Let's say, and in this case, I know that it's going to give me an error message because as I'm changing the penalty fee, it will tell me that I'm changing the automated, so it won't be warranted. But I want to show you that if I select here the collect fee on EMD, you can see here the system made the math and you have the total. And here we have change fee modifier, reissue warranty no longer applies, right? If I change anything here, it won't be warranted anymore. But if I go to the next page, you can see I complete everything again, but you have this change fee EMD. So automatically, after you issue the ticket, and change the ticket, it will issue the EMD. So if I retain this, and I do display PQS, display PQ and the PQ number, QR, you have all the information here, the original amount, the additional collection and fees, and here all the details. And look at this. This is also important. This amount non-refundable. And also here we have the change fee, and here says change fee modified, fee collect on EMD, total amount for this transaction. So all the details are here. So if you just want to issue the ticket after you end the record, you can do W cross, PQR, and the PQ number, and that will do it. We're not going to do this because we're going to do something different with this reservation, but just to show you how it works. Okay, so this is when you have an additional collection. And additional collection. And then you have when you have the new ticket is less than the old ticket. So you have a refundable value. That will depend also on the rules of that specific fare. But um, and this also will depend on the agency policy. So you can generate an MCO or EMD document. Remember, MCOs are the miscellaneous document. Anything that is not a ticket, if you want to pay for a special service or anything else, that is an MCO, or in fact now is EMD, right? This electronic miscellaneous document. So in this case, what we can do if we have a refundable value that is the airlines and these specific fares allows you to refund to the passenger, you will issue an EMD that is like a kind of ticket with a number and everything that you can use it later, or the passenger can use it later towards another ticket, right? So the system will check if the value is refundable per the airline's rule. So that is something that also that the system will check. Or also if that amount that you have on your favor can be used, for example, if you have a penalty, it can be deducted from the penalty, right? So in that case, you need to verify the agency policy if you want to do that or not. In case that, sometimes the amount is not that much, so they lose that amount, $5 cent. But if the amount is big and they want to get that amount, they need to go with the airline, right? Okay, so we'll see how is the process. This is one example. For example, we did this, and in this case, we have a residual amount. So the new ticket is less than the original one. And depending on the rule, it will allow you to do it or not. Here you can see that the total is minus that. So that means that the value is refundable, because otherwise, if it's not refundable, it will just say 0. Or if you have something, for example, $100 here for change fee amount, it will say 522, right? If it's applicable to the change fee. Or it can also be that it's not applicable, so they need to pay for the $100 and they will get the refund for the 622. So you do this, and after you do the exchange and you have that residual amount value, you need to create an MISC. MISC is the way that you will create this EMD. So you need to do this entry, MISC1, that is the regular entry. Of course, you are in the PNR, right? So you have the PNR open with and it will pre-populate the passenger name. So there are some specific fields that you need to complete. Sorry. The type of service, you need to put residual, because usually this is to pay for something. In this case, it's not the other way around. It's something that you're giving to the passenger. So you need to use the word residual here, right? And then you need to put the airline code and the city where this was issued. Maybe you need to put some endorsement or something that the airlines wants you to put. And if you want, you can also put the ticket number, so you have it as a reference, right? So this is the first screen, just this information. You go X to go to the next one. And then here you put the amount, right? The currency code and the amount. You don't need to put the fare basis or anything. It's just that the amount. And also you need to specify the taxes. So if you don't put anything, it will send you to a tax breakdown. But with this, it will take you to, you just put 0 and the US, and that will do. So you put an X here to go to the next one. And in case that you have a credit card here, because it's brought from the PNR, you just delete that, because this is not going to the credit card. It's something that you're going to, because otherwise it can charge that information to the PNR. So you just put here the select cash or check, right? But remember to delete that. And then you just put X next to OK to issue documents, and the document will be issued, and you will have that in the display T, right? So this is a ticket number that you can use for future exchanges, right? If the passenger is going to do a new itinerary, a new reservation, they can use this ticket as part of the payment, right? But again, this will depend on the agency policy, the airline policy, many things. But if you need to do that, you will have this information how to complete. And another important thing, if you remember display PAC to see the accounting lines, so it doesn't create negative accounting lines. So this is not something that you are paying for but it's the other way around. So uh, the airline will create this. So you need to delete this information. So because otherwise it will go to the back office, right? But you need to delete that information. And then if needed, you can enter a refund accounting line. There's a format to do that. Or maybe you can have a PF key that you just enter the amounts and it will create the refund. Or there's also a separate app, right? So remember that because if you don't delete this will be sent to the back office as an additional something that you paid for, and it's not that way. It's the other way around. Okay. Any question, Jime, related to
Yeah,
this?
yeah, we have a few. How do you find what airlines will accept the MCO AMD now?
Well, look at this. When you do display the electronic ticket profile and you do M display cancel, you can see it here. Right? Cancel remote exchange, yes. Cancel change fee EMD, yes. So they accept that. I didn't show you the graphical. Let me go there because usually I know if you're very familiar with Sabre and you work with Sabre for many years, uh, I'm sure that most of the things you are doing is with the commands. But remember that we have, especially for fares, to search for fare, the graphical it's great. But also you have that information for exchange ticket. And let me uh, pull up this reservation. Remember, this was the one that we made with the manual, but now I think that we canceled that. Yeah, so the ticket that we have opened, WTR. Okay. So we can go here, exchange ticket. This will open this window and it will give me the ticket that I can change. Look at this. It's only showing me the ticket that is open, at least one open, right? The other one that was voided is not here. So I can do this. This will display the old ticket, just if I want to verify something. Continue. And then here I have the information to do the exchange. I have different options. For example, if I need to specify air segments, if it's for all segments, I don't need to do anything. Also pricing options, if I want to search for a lowest fare available or price the current itinerary. Remember the NCV that we use. Passenger type, if there's specific passenger type. But also here is where I can find for the brand that I want. So if I have an account code or a brand ID or corporate ID or anything else, I can add that information here, right? So I don't need to remember the format. For now, still need to remember the name of the brand, right? At this time, it's not automatically shown. But remember that in these graphical things, we are changing and updating, enhancing this every month. So maybe in the future, we'll bring that information also. So in this case, it was a main FL. And here you can see, right? In this case was also an event exchange. And you can see here that the preferred form of payment for the for the change fee amount will appear here, right, automatically. So if these airlines prefer an EMD, it will appear here as an EMD, right? You don't need to select it. It will be taken automatically, right? So you can continue here and you have again the amount fee, the amount for the, if you have an additional collection, you can select the form of payment and then save the PQR, right? So the same thing. It's not that with the graphical in this case, you do a lot of new things. I think it's easier to follow the older the commands one, but for the new users, maybe this makes more sense. You can choose any of them. Okay, we can ignore this one. And I have another one. Let's see, because we are running out of time. When you're having fun, the time flies, right? So let me see, what else do we have?
There's a question related to that one. Is there a way to generate a list of MCOs, AMDs over a period of time?
Yes, there is. I don't remember, but from the, yeah, because that is a format that I don't use very often, but I can check, of course. Remember that you can see that in the,
We can add that to the information that we'll send
yeah.
in, because we won't get the time to reply to all these questions. So
Yeah. So, but here, look at this. Remember that I mentioned the extended service report. So here you can see which type of document do you want. Right? So you can see the MDs, the refunds, the MCO, everything is you can select it from here. You don't remember, you don't need to remember the format. So many times it's easier to do the graphical. The formats that you don't normally use, uh, you you don't remember, you just search there. Okay, so that was the additional collection. We also saw the refundable value. We'll see also the partial exchange. And as we mentioned before, the partial exchange is when you have a ticket that was partially used. For example, in this case, WETR, you can see that it's always good to verify all the display T. So in this case, we have different tickets. Let me see which is the one that is open. Is it number 4? Yes, here. You can see that you have, I think, and another thing, let me see. This is you have 2 passengers here, right? This is also important, right? So that is what I mentioned. You need to verify that when you do the entry, you specify the passenger that corresponds to that specific ticket. So WETR display number 2. This is John. So remember that this is John. Okay. And one of the segments is already used. So my reservation has now only one segment. So this is the original date that I already saw. If I want to change the date, one thing that we can do, you can search to the display, search for another flight. But if you know that it's the same flight at the same time and everything is the same class, everything is the same, you can do X1, Cross of Lorraine 00, and the new date, 26th of January. So as far as the segment, the class and the flight is available on that date, it will change that to that. So if I do display A now, I can see that I have my new date and flight. Sometimes, or it's not available, or that flight is not available on that date, so you need to search for a new one. But many times it's a good a shortcut to change the flight. So we want to do the exchange now. Remember that this was partially used. So now I cannot price this because it's only the return and I had the round trip. But the system will do this for me. When I can do it automatically, I can do WFRF, ticket record number 2. Let me do just this. We are going to get some error message, but just to show you how it done. Okay. need name number, right? Remember, if we have more than one passenger, I need to specify 1.1. Okay. In this case, look at this. We have this new fare is lower than the old one, and the receiver is refundable per room. But we may need to verify if this is the fare that I want, because maybe this is a cheaper fare, but it's more restrictive. So I want to go back with the, even I'm changing the date, I still want the original information. So let's quit here and display PQS. Okay, display PQ. And we are using, in this case, an customer ID. Remember this I and the code, this is a customer ID. And also these are the conditions. This is, I think, NPR, I think that is the advance or something, the refund conditions. That is also something that I don't usually do, that, so I don't remember which is the, but it's something that if you don't want any fare that has restrictions, right? So you don't have any restrictions to the fare. So if we do the entry again, and we add these two other ones, that should give us, yes, the same. So from here, we can go next and complete the same thing, right? But I want to do also something else. Let's see what happens if we do this with the other passenger. Passenger number 2. Now, I think it was number 4, the ticket, and the passenger was number 2. And remember, if you put this, the system will take it unless you have that configuration that I mentioned before, that is to avoid these kind of things. But it will do the ticket exchange with a different name, so that can create problems. But let me do this again, and for the second passenger. Okay, it's the same. Great. Good. Because I thought that as this was a child, split PQS. Okay, this was a child. So usually, in this case, as this is a negotiated fare, it's the same amount. But sometimes you have, when it's a child, you have a different fare. So you will also need to put here in the entry PCNN, or passenger type child. Okay. So we are past the hour, but I want to show you something else. Give me any other question related to this?
Well, there are a few, but if you wanted to move on, and then we can
Yeah,
share
let me.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so automated refund. Again, automated refund is when you need to refund a ticket, and the system will verify if this is refundable or not. So when you do the entry, WFRA ticket record, this is the entry. WFRA A for automated refund, ticket record number 2. If it's refundable, it will give you the information, the original fare and taxes, the cancellation fee. In this case, this is not applicable. But if you, let's say that you have $100 for cancellation fee, then the total refund will say $849. Right? So if you agree with this, you can do the same entry /REF to complete the refund. And you will have this response that the refund transaction was completed. Right? Let me see. Let me try that with the. This one. Okay. We do WFRA ticket record number 2. Again, remember that you can put the complete ticket number also. No refund value. So you can see that the system read the rules and said that this is not refundable. So there's nothing that you can do. Of course, if you want to do the refund anyway because the airlines allows you to do that, then you will need to do the manual exchange, the manual refund, that is WFR, ticket record number, and in this case, put DR. But this, remember, this is not warranted. This is only if the airlines allows you to do and maybe gives you a waiver or something, right? But the automated one is that way. And something that I almost forget to tell you, let's see, our previous, if you do display HT, this is the history of the tickets. You can see that when you issue a ticket, when you exchange a ticket automatically, it will say this, automated reissue. If it doesn't say that, that means that is a manual reissue. So only when you have this is warranted. Okay, good. And let's see here if I can refund this one. WFRA, ticket record, what's the number 2? Let's see. Yes. So in this case, yes, it's refundable. So I have all the information here. So if I want to refund this, I can do /ref. Okay. Good. If I display A, display T, WFRA, no, FR, WETR, sorry, and the line number 2, you see that says refund. Remember that you have and this is also important, you have as a reference the Sabre Central, central.sabre.com. Here in Finder, you can search for any of these, right? Any information, maybe any error message that you get, you can put it here and it will search for that. So for example, if I want to put cancel refund, cancel a refund, I want to know how to cancel a refund, I go here and I have the entry. All right, so remember that this is the place where you can have all the information, and besides the entry, you can also have more information and related articles. Okay. So let's see how we are with our presentation. Our Exchange Shop. This is something that whoops. Exchange Shop is something that you also have in these workflows. You can see here Exchange Shop. Let me search for the other reservation. Okay. Okay, you see what when you do something, issue a ticket or void or something, you need to end the record, right? Okay, and let me. Okay. So again, we still have this ticket, right? Yeah, display number 2. Yes, it's open. Okay, but this is for the 26th, and we want to see. Let's change the date. Let's. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. It's the segment number 2. Yeah, in that case, when it says CN, means that it was not available, so I need to search for a different date. So let me see for a different flight. Maybe the class was not available or something. So let me see for the 28th January from JFK to Boston with American. The class. Remember, you can have this baggage here so you can see the original information was in queue. So let me search for this one. Okay. So now I have my new itinerary with the new date, and I can search here for exchange shop. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't. Let me go back. Ignore and retrieve. Yeah, I forgot that that is done from the exchange shop. So you have the original reservation, right? You go to exchange shop, and from here you can specify a different date. For example, Saturday, right? And also here you can see that the ticket number is selected. If you have more than one passenger, it will also relate the ticket number with the name, so you don't need to specify anything. So I've changed the date, and the system will show me the different options for that date, maybe the same flights or different flights. The only thing that is not available here yet is that you can add uh, other specific brand, for example, right? So it's going to give me different options. You can see different places, even if they're, let's see, if you have a lot of different options here with tops and everything. And if there is an additional collection, you have that. So when you select one of them, so, and then you can do the exchange. So it gave you the option to see different flights where you can find if it's the same price or if it's different. And from here, you continue doing the exchange, the regular exchange, right? But this is a nice option. Try it. I don't know if it's always use, useful, but maybe sometimes you can apply it. And I think that finally, yes, this is something that is not automated, so this is not guaranteed, but it's a tool that maybe some of you don't know. So it's good that and it saves a lot of time. So I just wanted to mention that. When you have a schedule change from the airline, that is an involuntary change. That the passenger wants to do that, but the airline is changing the flight number, the different things, the schedule or whatever. Uh, Usually you needed to recreate the original fare for the new and issue the ticket with that. That maybe the fare is not is partially used or it was that was not still available, the same fare that has changed. So it can take some time to do that manually. But if this is from the airline, you don't need to do all that work. So I have something in Spanish. Sorry about that. So the schedule change, that is the tool, schedule change that we mentioned. Um, that's different things. It's automatically issue the new ticket without you don't need to do anything. Just accept the the new flight that the airlines gives you and just issue the entry that was here, the FRX ticket record, SC. That is the only thing that you need to do. But there are some things that you need to consider. So the the tool will, well, in the new ticket, will add the schedule change to the endorsement, right? So in the endorsement, at the beginning of the endorsement, we'll apply that. That is a IATA recommendation. You can also include extra information if the airlines gives you a specific code or waiver or something that you need to add to the endorsement or the tool code. You can do it in the entry. Also, the system is adding an S dash at the beginning of the calculation line. So that also means that this is a schedule change. And the important thing is that this tool is not covered by Sever's warranty policy. So this is important that you need to take in consideration. And how do you know if this tool is available in your PCC? You just do this entry, w/scfp. This means schedule change fast path. And if it's active, it will say it. If it's not, you need to request to the. In fact, it's the same thing that with the other tools, the automated tools. You need to go to the marketplace and accept the changes, the charges. The difference is that the other ones, it's for the exchanges, it only charges you when you do an exchange, right? So every time that you do an exchange, you have a charge for that. But the schedule change, it's a monthly charge, even if you use it or not, right? So it's, I think it's $20, something like that per month. So maybe if you don't do many exchanges or schedule changes, maybe that doesn't pay for that. But if you really use that, you know that it will save you a lot of time. So it's good that you activate that. But it's good to know that it will charge the same, even if you don't use it or if you use it 1,000 times. So the steps. First of all, when you have a schedule change, you need to accept the segments. You know, they're TK. You need to do EWR, so they change to HK. This is the original ticket, right? And then when you do the exchange, at the end is this one, WFRX, ticket record, and the ticket record number, SC for schedule change, it will issue the new ticket. You don't need to do anything else, right? And you will see that the new ticket has the S at the beginning of the line, the calculation line, and also in the, it's not shown here, well, in the endorsement also has the SCHC saying that this is a schedule change. And very important is that when you do the entry, it will automatically issue the ticket. So that is a little dangerous because if the airlines wants you to put something like a tour code or endorsement or something, you need to put after the entry in the same entry, right? So the entry, crossover Lorraine, you and the tour code or ED slash and the endorsement, right? But remember, you need to do everything in the same line. So that is a good tool, great tool, very powerful, but with a power, it comes a responsibility. So remember to put the goals that you need. And I think that's it from my side.